Welcome back to the Paranormal State, Washington, and UFO UAP. With Makāula Nakae, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. Today's episode, 1883 Bonilla Observation, Mexico. Unraveling the first photographed anomaly. The 1883 Bonilla Observation stands as one of the most fascinating and historically anomalous events in early astronomy. Long before the modern lexicon of UFOs, or UAPs existed, a respected Mexican astronomer accidentally captured what many alternative researchers and ufologists consider to be one of the earliest photographic documentations of unexplained aerial anomalies. A closer look at the details reveals why this 19th century observation continues to captivate historians, scientists, and anomaly researchers alike. On the afternoon of August 12, 1883, Mexican astronomer José Árboly Bonilla was hard at work at the newly opened Zacatecas Observatory in Mexico. His primary mission that day was entirely conventional. He was observing and cataloging sunspots on the surface of our star. While looking through his telescope, Bonilla noticed something extraordinary crossing the field of view. Instead of the expected quiet stillness of space, a swarm of dark, shadowy objects was steadily drifting across the blazing face of the sun. Bonilla did not just see a stray speck or two. Over the course of his observations across August 12th and 13th, he recorded and photographed hundreds of unidentified bodies. With estimates tallying up to 447 objects on his wet plates and mathematical extrapolations suggesting thousands passed by over a 25-hour window. When Bonilla sent his findings and wet plate photographs to French physicist and astronomer Camille Flammarion, they were published in the journal Astronomy in 1886. Unwilling to accept the implications of massive interstellar objects or unknown phenomena, the scientific establishment at the time largely dismissed the anomaly, suggesting that Bonilla had merely captured flocks of high-flying birds or dust particles crossing his lens. Decades later, modern astrophysicists re-examined Bonilla's data and photographs, proposing a terrifying natural hypothesis: that Bonilla had accidentally captured the close-range passage and breakup of a massive billion-ton comet fragmenting in low Earth orbit. Calculations suggested that if those objects had collided with Earth, they would have triggered thousands of impact events on the scale of the Tunguska explosion, making it a near-miss extinction event. Whether viewed as an early photographic encounter with an unknown extraterrestrial armada or as a brush with a catastrophic cosmic near-miss, the Bonilla observation remains a chilling reminder of how much of our universe's history remains hidden just beyond our normal field of vision. What elevates José Bonilla's 1883 observation from a mere anomalous anecdote to a serious historical milestone in the study of unexplained phenomena is the physical, empirical evidence he left behind. Long before digital sensors, motion picture cameras, or modern radar, Bonilla captured something that defied conventional explanation, using the cutting-edge technology of his era. A closer look at his photographic methods highlights why this event remains a watershed moment in early astrophotography. In 1883, astrophotography was still in its absolute infancy. Telescopes were primarily used for manual, eye-to-eyepiece observation, and capturing light on a photographic plate required immense skill, precise timing, and delicate chemistry. Bonilla utilized the wet collodion process, a complex photographic technique requiring glass plates to be chemically coated, sensitized, exposed in the telescope mount, and developed immediately while still wet. Working out of the Zacatecas Observatory, Bonilla had his camera apparatus physically attached to his telescope tracking mechanism, allowing him to capture high-contrast, magnified views of the solar disk. Prior to Bonilla's encounter, almost all reports of strange aerial or celestial phenomena relied entirely on subjective, naked-eye human testimony, which mainstream science could easily dismiss as optical illusions, atmospheric mirages, or misidentified natural events. By successfully exposing multiple photographic plates that permanently recorded the dark, silhouetted shapes passing across the sun, Bonilla changed the nature of the inquiry. This makes the Zacatecas event arguably the very first time high-altitude anomalies were permanently registered by objective optical instrumentation. The developed plates provided physical, verifiable proof that something tangible and massive had transited between Earth and the Sun, cementing the observation as a permanent, undeniable puzzle in the history of science and ufology. Based on Bonilla's notes and the analysis of his surviving photographic plates, the objects possessed characteristics that defy simple categorization for the era. The entities appeared as dark, circular, or spindle-shaped silhouettes against the blinding light of the sun. Some appeared to have nebulous appendages or structured geometry. Because they were silhouetted against the sun, while being viewed through a telescope focused at infinity, the objects had to be located at an immense altitude, well above Earth's dense atmosphere, or passing through near-Earth orbit. Their synchronized movement and velocity ruled out mundane explanations, like birds, dust, or localized debris caught in the lower wind currents. Because the implications of José Bonilla's 1,883 photographs are so radical, suggesting either an anomalous high-altitude armada or a catastrophic near-miss by a colossal space body, historical skeptics and modern scientists have aggressively scrutinized his glass plates. Over the decades, mainstream science has attempted to resolve the anomaly through several terrestrial and astronomical hypotheses. When Bonilla's findings were first published in Camille Flammarion's French astronomy magazine L'Astronomie in 1886, the scientific establishment was desperate for a mundane explanation. Critics suggested that swarms of high-flying insects, localized wind-borne debris, or flocks of migratory birds such as geese or cranes had drifted close to the telescope's objective lens. Because the telescope was focused at infinity on the sun, nearby biological matter would appear blurred, magnified, and silhouetted as dark spindle-shaped shadows. While this explanation neatly satisfies conventional skepticism, it fails to account for the massive scale and precise timing of the event. Bonilla recorded hundreds of structured objects moving in synchronized streams across multiple days, an impossible profile for random insects or local flocks passing a stationary observatory. As alternative researchers pointed out the impossibility of birds or bugs appearing as razor-sharp silhouettes on wet plate negatives, astronomers began looking at celestial explanations. Early astronomical evaluations proposed that a fragmented meteor or space debris was burning up or casting shadows in the upper atmosphere. In a comprehensive 2011 study by researchers at the National Autonomous University of Mexico UNAM, scientists calculated the parallax and trajectories based on Bonilla's notes. They concluded that Bonilla had likely captured a massive multi-billion-ton comet breaking apart in low Earth orbit. Their calculations revealed that if those massive ice and rock fragments had actually collided with Earth, they would have triggered thousands of impact events on the scale of the Tunguska explosion, effectively serving as a hair's breadth, near-extinction event for humanity. Whether viewed as an atmospheric illusion, a catastrophic brush with a shattered comet, or the first photographic capture of high-altitude anomalous technology, the 1,883 Bonilla observation remains one of the most intensely debated enigmas in the history of science. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, the historical mystery of José Bonilla's glass plates was dragged into the modern era through rigorous scientific re-examination. Researchers, most notably a team of scientists from the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México UNAM, led by Héctor Monterola, reanalyzed Bonilla's original notes, trajectory drawings, and surviving wet plates using modern digital enhancement on astronomical calculation techniques. This modern reevaluation split the scientific and anomaly research communities into two radically different interpretations. Long before modern satellite networks, orbital debris tracking, or military radar identified anomalous high-altitude objects, often dubbed fastwalkers, alternative researchers pointed to Bonilla's plates as the earliest empirical evidence of structured technology in low Earth orbit. While skeptics maintain that the shapes were simply terrestrial insects, dust motes, or localized particulate matter drifting close to the telescope objective, proponents argued that the crisp, opaque geometry and synchronized movement of the silhouettes pointed to massive, artificial, or metallic bodies cruising through near-Earth space. In a startling 2011 scientific study published by the UNAM researchers, a terrifying natural explanation was put forward. Bonilla had accidentally captured the close-range passage and breakup of a massive multi-billion-ton fragmented comet. By analyzing why the objects were visible in Zacatecas but not simultaneously reported by observatories further south in Mexico City or Puebla. The UNAM team calculated that the fragments were passing through low Earth orbit at an altitude between 538 and 8,062 kilometers. Based on the sheer number of objects recorded, extrapolated to over 3,200 fragments across a 25-hour window, the researchers calculated that the progenitor comet possessed a mass comparable to or greater than historical impactors. If those massive ice and rock chunks had shifted their trajectory just slightly to intersect the Earth's solid surface, it would have triggered thousands of impact events on the scale of the Tunguska explosion, effectively serving as a global extinction-level event. Whether viewed as an early encounter with high-altitude space anomalies or as a miraculous brush with a shattering cosmic behemoth that nearly wiped out civilization decades before the 20th century even began, José Bonilla's 1883 observation remains a breathtaking bridge between 19th century observational astronomy and the enduring mysteries of the skies. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archive Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact and the Paranormal State. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute exploration into the evolution of ufology, perfect for your daily plunge into decoding hidden messages from outer space, designed to raise awareness and foster human evolution. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.